Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth, this is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, and this is Flosstube number 36. Alright, so today is January the 22nd, 2023, and it's been 2 weeks since my last update. I have really been chilling, pretty much. Obviously, I'm still going to work and stitching mostly every day, but I only have 2 projects to show you, but they're both my WhipGo calls for this month, so spoiler alert, I have succeeded in meeting the goals. So that'll be fun to show you. And yeah, I think the biggest news though is that I have reached 2,000 subscribers. So that's pretty exciting. I don't really know how to feel about it, honestly, but I'm very happy and excited about it and wanted to give a big thank you to everybody watching and everybody who has subscribed to get that number up there. So thank you. So I guess I just wanted to take a minute to talk about what I've been up to. I feel like the last 2 weeks have kind of flown by. I did post a video last week that was like a tutorial, I guess, on how to use Pattern Keeper on your computer. So even though I filmed last week, like I didn't film like a normal Flosstube, so it just kind of, I don't know. I filmed but I didn't, you know what I mean? So yeah. And I keep looking over here because it's snowing today, and I guess, what time is it? It's almost 10:30, and I guess it's been snowing since like just before 8 o'clock, and there is quite a generous dusting of snow everywhere, so that's kind of exciting. It still is like actively falling snow, so like we haven't taken Wilson on his poop loop, as we call it, yet, just because like I don't have any problem walking him in the snow, but I don't want to walk him when the snow is still falling, because then it's just gonna get all on his fur, on his body, and I'd rather just have to clean his paws and not his whole body. So anyway, we're kind of waiting until it subsides a little bit, but yeah. So anyway, it's been really fun to watch it snow outside, because I'm from Mississippi, so, and this is Ohio, so I'm just not used to this kind of stuff. This would be a miracle if it happened in Mississippi. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, so I've been, aside from like work and just the normal day-to-day stuff, I've been working on wedding planning. So for those of you that don't know, my fiance and I, Bobby, we are getting married in October, and we got engaged December of 2021. So yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we already have the venue booked. I just booked the ceremony music and the reception music, and I'm trying to work on, there's like a florist slash coordinator that we're having a meeting with her on Monday, tomorrow, and still trying to get an officiant, and I haven't even started researching photography, but that is my goal for this week. So it is kind of overwhelming, just like there's like a big sticker shock for everything, because you know, I know weddings are expensive, but like I feel like I still have like college brain when it comes to finances, so like everything just seems wildly expensive, even if it is like a reasonable cost for that service, you know? So anyway, there's a lot of me calling my mom being like, oh, I can't do this, and then she's like, yes you can, because I know I can. I just like feel like I can't, because oh, those numbers are big. But anyway, yeah, so I've been wedding planning. Miley Cyrus came out with a new song like 2 weeks ago, and I really love it. It's called Flowers, so if you have not heard it already, it's kind of all over like Instagram Reels and stuff, but it's a really great song. And yeah, I also have been listening to some audiobooks, so I will have a small little book chat at the end of this video. Pretty small because I've only finished one, and I'm in the middle of reading another one, but it's kind of a slow start because the narrator is a little weird, but I'll talk more about that later. Yeah, I've been obsessed with my new fountain pen. I got a fountain pen for my birthday, and it's just been really fun. I always like seeing like all the different inks and stuff that people share online. And so I'm glad that I have my own pen so I can play with. It is truly an amazing writing experience. It's like, I don't know, it's just really fun. If you like writing and stationery and you don't have a fountain pen, you should totally get one, because it's really fun. And they make several like easy beginner friendly ones, which is kind of what I got. I got a TWSBI ECO, if you're curious. But yeah, so I've been enjoying my fountain pen. And then I also have this new addiction to a different brand of lip balm. It's actually this one. I bought a 4-pack, but this one is like called, this one's bubblegum, but the company is called Treat. And anyway, these lip balms are like ginormous and the flavors are really nice and I just really like them. So I got a 4-pack, so I have one in the bathroom, one on my nightstand, one on my desk, one in my purse, and I kind of want to get more just to put them all over the place, so I'm never without the lip balm. But yeah, and then let's see, Bobby has been like on this like 2-week scheduled vacation, so he's had a lot of time, and one of the things that he did during his time, well, because he starts back work this Tuesday, but one of the things that he was working on was making a crate topper for Wilson's crate, because if you can kind of see right there is where we keep Wilson's crate. So I've had Bobby make a like wooden crate topper so that we can turn it into a tabletop, so that I can kind of extend my desk out, because as you can see, my desk is like full with a bunch of crap. It kind of makes it hard to actually use the desk for like writing and stuff. So I'm hoping, and I also got a new printer for Christmas, so I'm hoping I can set up the printer and the Cricut on this like table thing that we're making for Wilson's crate. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It's all done, but the polyurethane coating on it, we have to let it kind of settle for several weeks, because we're kind of waiting for the odor to dissipate, so that, you know, Wilson obviously sleeps in there and we don't want to like, you know, shove polyurethane down his lungs. So anyway, we're trying to let it air out basically until it doesn't smell anymore, and then we'll bring it inside. It's just chilling in the garage, but I'm very excited about it, and I don't want to wait that long, but I also, you know, want to do what's right for Wilson, because I love him more than a piece of furniture. So yeah. But yeah, Bobby's about to go back to work on Tuesday, and he's gonna start night shift, so that will be interesting because he has not worked night shift since I have gotten my new job. So it'll be yet again another learning experience, trying to figure out the routine of me being away during the day and him being away at night, and like making sure that Wilson is getting the proper exercise and activity. Piper also needs those things, but she's a little less high maintenance, so yeah, anyway. But yeah, I think that's probably it for little chatty things. But I did want to mention one last thing before I get into my stitching, and I actually have a Flosstube recommendation. So I'm pretty much a creature of habit. I pretty much stick to the same 5 people that I religiously, like, anytime they post a video, I will immediately watch it. But sometimes I get recommended other people that I've never even seen or heard of before, and that's kind of what this was. So the Flosstuber I'm talking about is Lila D Stitches. Her name is Laura, and I think I get confused. She either lives in Portland or just moved from Portland to Seattle. So anyway, but she is so much fun to watch. She has a ton of projects. She stitches, she does quilts, she does embroidery, but yeah, I love her energy, and I love seeing all the stuff that she works on. She has lots of pretty Mirabilias and Nora Corbetts and things like that. But yeah, I've just really been enjoying watching her. I've been binging her videos. She has like 9, I think, and I think I'm like maybe halfway through number 6. So she does have longer videos, but I've been enjoying them. So shout out to Laura from Lila D Stitches. So I'm gonna get my stitching ready, and then we can talk about my progress. Okay, so the first whip well, like I said, I only have 2, but this is the one I spent the most time on. And this was my first WIPGO call for January. This is my block 6, and it is Alice in Wonderland by Satsuma Street. It's going to look like this when it's complete, and this is what it looked like last time I showed it to you, and this is what it looks like now. So the WIPGO goal for this project was to complete the Queen of Hearts block, which is the one right below Alice. And let's see, I guess let me back up. I started this project like January of 2021, and obviously we are in January of 2023, so I would really like to finish this year. So I have it on my WIPGO goal. I have it on my WIPGO board 4 times. One time was what I just did, which was the Queen of Hearts block. One is the Caterpillar block, and then the other 2 blocks are the border for Queen of Hearts and the border for Caterpillar. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna kind of fold this and get up close to the block that I've, you know, spent how many times? I spent nearly 10 hours on this block this past couple weeks. So let's see. I'll move that out of the way. So this is what she looks like. The lighting's a little weird because it's snowy and bright, but it's not. I had to pull the ring light out to kind of balance everything out. Get it so I can hold it. Okay, here we go. So yes, this is the block. Like I said, I spent about 10 hours on it this past couple weeks. There are some French knots in this. So the pupils of her eyes and then the pupil on the little flamingo all have French knots, and I'm not going to be able to zoom in really great on this camera because I'm using the front-facing camera on my iPhone, but I am super proud of how my French knots came out, and I just think her face looks fantastic. I feel like I did a great job. Not to, you know, toot my own horn or whatever, but yeah, take it when you get it. So yeah, but I guess like my little tip for French knots. So when I first started doing French knots, I definitely wound the floss around the needle way too many times. You need to do like 2 times max. And then the other thing is this pattern tells you to do French knots with 2 strands. That's just too much floss, honestly. So for all of these French knots, I did 1 strand. And to make the eyes on the queen bigger than the eyes on the flamingo, I wrapped the floss around the needle 3 times for her eyes and then 2 times for the flamingo. And honestly, it turned out great. Now, when you wrap the floss around the needle 3 times like that, there's gonna be a lot more, I guess, loose floss. And so I basically went back up through the French knot and tacked down the loose part so that it wasn't flopping all over the place. And so that gave me a bolder look with the French knot without having to use 2 strands, because I feel like with such tiny detail like that, you need just 1 strand. But this is 28 count blue, ice blue linen from Zweigart, which is the called for this chart, and then I didn't change any of the colors. But yeah, I am super pleased with how it turned out, and I'm excited to see the rest of it come together. So, but there she is, and her grumpy little face. My next project that I worked on is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio. It's going to look like this. And then this is what it looked like last time I showed it to you. And then this is what it looks like now. So this was WIPGO block number 10 for me, and the goal was to stitch on it for 5 hours. So I finished out that pumpkin on the left side, and then I put in some more letters for Happy Halloween, and then I did that whole moon and the bottom half of the witch with her broom. So I think this is looking so good now that it has now that it has some more stitching on it. But man, it looks so nice. So this is 40 Count Murky by Picture This Plus. And let's see. Oh, that kind of covers up some. Here we go. So yeah, 40 Count Murky by Picture This Plus with all the that's the called for fabric, and then I'm also using all the called for flosses. If you are interested in stitching on this, there is a hashtag happening right now called hashtag Spooky Quaker Sal, and that is being hosted by Heather, the 20-minute stitcher, and Brijin, the museum stitcher. So, but yeah, I absolutely love how this is coming along. And I was also surprised how much work I was able to get done in 5 hours, so I feel like I added quite a bit to the chart. And honestly, page 1 is basically complete except for like, I think page 1 kind of cuts like right there. So there's just a little bit of the spider motif that I haven't finished for page 1, and I think it's like 3 pages across. So sadly, when I started this, I did not measure properly, but I'm not going to be in trouble because, so this over here is like a 3-inch margin, but when I stitch it all the way across, it's only going to have 2 inches on this side. So hopefully that's not too big of an issue for framing. I feel like 2 inches is like kind of would probably be a little difficult, but I don't think it's impossible. So, but yeah. Don't have too much else to say on this one other than 1 strand on 40 count is fine, but I definitely feel like I prefer 2 strands on 36, just because I don't know, maybe I just need to learn how to do a pin stitch, because I don't like how I basically will just stitch over the thread in the back, but once I learned the loop method, I just never wanted to do that again, like stitching over the strand in the back. So yeah, maybe I just need to learn how to do a pin stitch, because that's really my only beef with stitching with 1 strand. But yeah, I think it looks great, and I'm excited for it to come along more. I believe this is on my WhipGo board like 2 more times, maybe. At least 1 more time to stitch again for 5 hours. But I definitely will bring this out during October regardless of whether or not it was called for WhipGo, simply because it's a Halloween piece. So, but I also didn't have any issue with, I know some people are like super seasonal and they don't want to stitch on Halloween when it's winter, and they don't want to stitch on summer when it's fall, you know, but I didn't really mind stitching on Halloween when it's, you know, snowing outside. Okay, so I do have a little tiny portion of haul that I will show you now. Let me get that situated. Okay, so haul number 1 is my Color and Cotton Floss of the Month. I did not take any of this out of the bag, so sorry for the loud noises. Hopefully it's not too bad. But these are the colors for January. We have Radiant Lilac, Heavenly, and Rose Petals. And I just think this looks so nice. And I was so excited when I opened it because purple, pink, and blue are my favorite colors. So I was super excited to get these 3 together in the mail. So pretty. I have yet to, you know, use any of these, but I did kit one of my Color and Cotton flosses in my my newest start, which is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. So I'm really excited to finally stitch with it, because I only hear good things from people about stitching with Color and Cotton floss. Okay, so the next 2 things are from the same order. They are Crinkly Crinkly, so I'm going to take both of them out of the bag real quick, and then I'll be right back. The day after my birthday, I decided to buy some 28 count Lugana from Stitch Me, because there are 2 projects that I want to start this year that I pretty much need to stitch it on 28 count because of like other things that you would sew on to it afterwards. So I'll tell you what those projects are when I show you the fabric. So the first one I picked up is, these are all fat quarter. These are all. There's 2 of them. They're fat quarters, but this is called Vanilla Latte. Again, this is Bestitch Me. Oh, okay. That is all the snow. Anyway, this definitely looks nicer on camera, I feel like, than in person. I feel like in person it looks way more yellow. But I don't know. I can't decide if I like it or not, because there are some lightings where it just looks horribly yellow, and I'm just not a huge fan of the super yellow, but it is a beautiful fabric and it feels amazing. But yeah, so that's Vanilla Latte. I got this one in mind, or the project I had in mind was Christmas Wreath by Frosted Pumpkin. And you need 28 count because there are buttons for that project. And I want the buttons to fit properly. So yeah, anyway, this was my kind of fabric choice for Christmas Wreath. And I feel like it would be nice, but I can't tell if it's like too pale and yellow for that project or not. So we'll see. If I don't use it for Christmas Wreath, it will definitely be a good neutral to pull from for other things. I just don't know if this is the fabric for that particular project. So, but that is the first fabric that I got. And then the second one is called Sand Dollar. And I guess I should mention, both of these are from, she had like a ready to ship stock or something, and these came from that. So this one I love. I like this one more than Vanilla Latte. This one's called Sand Dollar. And I actually bought this with the intention to stitch the Hands-On Design Block Party Meow, the cat pincushion. And it comes with like a piece of wool felt that you stitch on top, and it's for 28 count stitching. So that's why I needed a 28 count for that project as well. But yeah, this is called Sand Dollar. I feel like I just really love this one. But I'm also like almost considering stitching the Christmas wreath on this, and then just finding a different fabric for the block party. So I don't know. I feel like I want to use this for Christmas wreath and then find another fabric for the cat one, but I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Because I did buy a bunch of neutral fabrics when I went to Keepsakes for my birthday, but I bought higher counts. I bought like 32 and like 2 36s. So, and I guess I technically could, you know, stitch it on 32 and like cut down the felt, but I really would rather not have to cut down the felt. I'd rather it just fit properly. So yeah, but, and then, you know, just for fun, this is what the two look like together, right next to each other. So as you can see, this one is definitely more yellow. And this one's more of a, like a grayish, I guess. But yeah, I really like both of them. I just think this one might be better for the Christmas wreath. We'll see. I will definitely keep you updated. But regardless, they're both beautiful, and if they don't get used for my initial intention, they will be great for other projects. And honestly, this 28 count even weave or Lugana, just it looks a tad bit tighter than 28, but not quite like a 32. Which I feel like might be the case with most Lugana dyed Luganas, because I have some 32 count color and cotton Luganas, and they definitely are a lot tighter than a normal 32 count. So anyway, I'm rambling now. Okay, so that was my start, my haul. My plans, which I'm going to go into now, involves a new start. So yes, this week on the 26th, Frosted Pumpkin is releasing the first part of their new stitch along, British Isles Adventure. And I have, last night I like sorted my floss out. They put them on these floss cards and they wind them up, but I really just like to have the floss ready to be pulled off. So I measured all, measured them all in equal lengths and looped them all, and then kind of did a very loose braid so it wouldn't be all like a mess. But anyway, so I have my floss prepped, and then I was having kind of a thought last night about the fabric for this. So the fabric that comes with the kit is this like light blue Aida. This is 16 count, and there's like a piece of fuzz on it. Okay, so anyway, it's a pretty color, but, and you can't, this is not really the color because the snow and the light, it just doesn't look right. But in person, it definitely has more of kind of like a seafoam blue kind of color to it. But I just don't know if I want to use this or if I want to use this. So again, you can't really see it. So I might have to just post a picture on my Instagram story so you can get a better look at these things. But this is a 32 count Lugana from Color and Cotton in the color Sea Breeze, and it is opalescent. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to tell that on the camera. But yeah, so anyway, I basically am just kind of thinking, like, do I want to stitch it on the kit Aida, or do I want to, you know, spice it up? Oh, that's really bad. Okay. Do I want to spice it up and stitch it on the this blue fabric that I already have? So you can kind of see the difference there. The Sea Breeze is definitely a lot more brighter, but it's basically the same color. It's just more saturated, and obviously it's opalescent. This Aida is not, and then, but it's basically the same count. So this is 16 count Aida, and this is 32 count Lugana. So yeah, anyway, I'm just having a toss up on whether or not I should stitch it on different fabric or not. So maybe I'll have to put you can let me know down in the comments, but I will probably post that on my Instagram story and see what you guys think. So yeah, it's definitely hard to tell because of the washed out the snow out there is washing everything out. That's a good representation of the difference. So anyway, I'm having a crisis. So this stitch along starts on the 26th, which I guess is like Thursday. But yeah, anyway, so I gotta decide before Thursday which fabric I'm gonna use. And since I braided this on the floor, and so there's like random hair in my floss, which is not ideal, but it happens, I guess. Okay, so that is one of my plans, to start that this week. I gotta choose a fabric. And then, let's see. Okay, so, you know, obviously today is the 22nd. I'm not gonna start that until the 26th. So I have like 4 days, basically, of stitching time that I don't have anything planned for. Because I already finished my WIPGO goals for this month. We won't get new WIPGO calls until the 25th, but even then, I probably won't actually start them until, I probably won't actually start them until the 1st of February. So that leaves me a few days just kind of hanging in the wind. So I thought I might actually put in some work on Sweetheart Campfire. That is my full coverage piece. I didn't pull it out to show you today. But yeah, so I think I might work on that. That might be my I might make that a habit. Like every time I finish my WIPGO, if I have extra days, I'll work on that. But yeah, also, side note on Sweetheart Campfire. So I think I've mentioned in the past where like my pattern does not have a symbol associated with the color 310. And so in Pattern Keeper, it wouldn't let me check off that stitch because it doesn't have a symbol there. Well, I discovered this new thing over the weekend where when you upload a pattern into Pattern Keeper, you can actually click on they have advanced options. And there's like 4 different options on there, but one of them is to assign a symbol to blank cells. And so you can do that to, you know, fill in the background, or if a symbol is not picking up, it'll assign something. So yeah, anyway, I did that, and now guess what? I can check off all those black stitches. So I am like over the moon excited because now I can get an accurate percentage of what I have stitched on that project, and I can actually mark off the black stitches rather than just, you know, stitching past a certain line and then filling in the black before so I don't, you know, mess myself up. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Which is also kind of why I want to stitch on Sweetheart Campfire for the next couple days, because I just got that situated like last night or 2 nights ago. So yeah, anyway, I'm excited about that. And then, oh, I guess the last thing that I've kind of been working on that I probably will continue to work on between now and next time is I actually downloaded MacStitch, which is the cross-stitch design software that a lot of people use. And yeah, so I have had these ideas in my brain for some patterns, and I'm finally like have a proper software to like chart them out. So I've been playing around with that, and I'm happy with how my design is progressing, but there's still some things I need to add to it. So I'm definitely going to stitch what I have created, and then I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but I will share it with you when I stitch it. But yeah, sneak peek, Frizzy Lizzie Stitches is designing something, so I don't know, it's very niche. Only certain groups of people are probably going to be interested in it, but that's whatever. I like it, so that's all that matters. But yeah, so I've been playing around with that. I kind of like it. But the only thing that I'm learning with that is when you're designing, you can't stitch, and when you're stitching, you can't design. So, you know, you gotta choose your battles. But yeah, I think that's it for my plans. So I'm gonna chat about books for a hot second here. I only have 2 to talk to you about today, and then that'll probably be it. So yeah, if you don't want to listen to books, then you know, there's nothing else for you here, I guess. Okay, so the 2 books that I have to talk to you about, one of them I recently finished, and then the other one I am currently listening to now. So the one that I recently finished is called This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub. I'll put the cover up here. So first off, I love Emma Straub. I feel like a lot of her books are, like, you have to be into it to appreciate it, I guess. Because I feel like I often see reviews on her books complaining about how boring they are, but I don't think they're boring. So I really like her books because to me it's basically like getting to look into somebody else's life, and like I feel like a lot of the detail and description that she gives is like about a bunch of mundane things that usually don't mean anything. So I feel like her books are focused more on feelings and like setting and like all that sort of stuff rather than actual events. So anyway, I just really like it because it's almost like watching like reality TV or something, but in a much classier way, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but this book was really good. So basically the premise is Alice is like a 40-year-old, or she's about to turn 40, and she is kind of just like not really like thrilled about her life, but she's not mad about it either. But she's also really upset because her dad is dying in the hospital, and she just wants more time with him. And so the eve of her 40th birthday, she like gets really wasted because she's just very kind of depressed. And when she wakes up, she finds herself in her 16-year-old self body. And so then the whole book is kind of this whole thing of like her, like she's like reliving the day of her 16th birthday, and her dad is there. And so it's really interesting because she kind of is focusing on totally different things as a 40-year-old in her 16-year-old self than she was when she was 16 as a 16-year-old. Does that make sense? So anyway, it's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. You've got the magical realism. You've got the father-daughter bonding. You've got, you know, there's like best friends. And it's just such a heartwarming book because it really focuses on like the time, how the choices you make affect your life, and how some of them matter more than others, and how like, you know, how important time is to how you're spending your time. I don't know. It was such a good book, and it made me feel things, and I loved it. So yeah, highly recommend that one. And the narrator on the audiobook is also really good. So plus bonus points for that. But then the next book that I started reading after that is called It All Comes Down to This by Therese and Fowler, I think. I'll put the cover up here. So this book kind of falls into the same category if you like Emma Straub type books. But I'm having a hard time getting into this one, but that's simply because the narrator for the audiobook makes me want to fall asleep. I usually listen to audiobooks on my way to work in the morning and on the way home in the evening. And when I drive to work in the morning, it is still dark outside. And this lady just has like a voice that makes me want to go to sleep. And that is not good when it's dark and I'm trying to drive. So I haven't been listening to it as frequently because of that. But I really do like the story so far. I'm just having a hard time with the narrator. So I'm trying to separate the two because I don't want the narrator to make me not like the book. You know what I mean? So, but basically, this book is about these three sisters, and their mom is, you know, kind of, she's about to die, and she's getting all of her stuff in line for when that happens. And then the rest of the book is kind of how the sisters deal with their mother's death and the decisions she made in her will. And then there's like some other side character that gets thrown in the mix, but I don't know what he does yet, because there was like one chapter about him, and that was kind of it. So I'm only like maybe 10%, no, more than that. I think I'm on maybe chapter 10 or so. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I'm decently in there, maybe like 25% in. So, but yeah, there are definitely some spicy things, not spicy as in like lover stuff, but like spicy as in like drama. So yeah, there's some dramatic things happening. And it'll be fun to see how it plays out and how the sisters like interact with each other based on what's happening. So anyway, it's good so far. Narrator isn't that great, so maybe if you maybe try reading it like the actual paper or ebook, unless you like the lady who makes you fall asleep. So yeah, anyway, those are my 2 books for today. And yeah, so my next video will be Flosstube number 37. I don't have any extra videos planned between now and then, and which will be nice, because then that means next weekend I won't film anything and I can just relax and not worry about it. Not that filming videos is like a lot, but it does kind of take up a lot of the weekend, because I sit here for like almost an hour filming and then another hour editing it, and then kind of just babysitting the computer all day while it uploads. So I do enjoy it. It just does take a lot of time, so I have to plan for it and make sure that I'm prepared to spend that time. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for me today. I know this was super chatty and probably a little bit longer of a video, considering I only had 2 projects to show you, but hopefully you stuck around and enjoyed yourself. And I guess for the comments, you should totally let me know what you're working on while you watched my video. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.